Hello and welcome to week 2. For week 2, of course, you're going to begin with this video. Then you'll move into your reading assignments. The reading assignments for week 2 can be found by clicking on this link. Remember, it's the same as what you see in the syllabus. It just makes it a little easier for you to just preview what you need to read and get right to that reading assignment for this week. As you move on into week 2, you'll get into the review section. The review section is going to include that overview of literature, so just a brief overview of the context and a little bit about, in this case, the Iliad and the Odyssey. Then you're going to move on to reviewing the information about project number 1's annotated bibliography. When you open that up, you're going to see that you're going to locate 3 different sources that you're going to use for project number 1. And you'll decide which sections of those sources best support your claim. So what you want to start thinking about as you move towards project 1 is an argument that you see evolving in the literature we're reading thus far. So don't think outside of the box. Don't think of bringing in literature from another time. We're just focusing this class on the literature that we're reading during class. So far you've read you've read from the Hebrew Bible, you've read from the Tale of Gilgamesh. Now you're adding the Iliad and the Odyssey. So where are you seeing some common themes emerging? Maybe you're seeing some issues with characters or things facing humans in general, maybe related to quests or journeys to prove themselves. Again, these are kind of up to you. And in the project number 1 handout, there's some very general ideas that you could embrace as you take on this argument. But what I want you to do is think of where outside of the literature itself you can find support from literary criticism. So you're going to find 3 different sources from the Macomb library databases, and you're going to list them first in works cited format, and then I want a 1/2 page, double space, so 1/2 page, so really about a quarter of a page when you single space. So you'll have a page summary with the key points. So the summary should include 2 usable quotes, the purpose of the article, and how you will use the source in your paper. So again, I want you to start thinking about what will shape this argument. This assignment is due on September 4th. In addition, you're going to look up, what I've added here is just a short video on finding e-resources. So when you open that up, it's going to just take you to the Macomb library databases, how to find sources that are literary criticism related to the types of things that we're reading right now, and how to cite them. It's very easy to cite sources in MLA format 9th edition using just simply the cite button in these databases. So I walk you through how to do that and how to copy and paste it over to your works cited page. So I would say watch this if you haven't done a lot of research from the Macomb library databases, because it's going to help you with that annotated bibliography. And then just kind of to frame this whole week, you want to be thinking ahead to project number 1. And like I said, you're going to write a 3 to 5 page argument, really trying to tie together these literary works in an argumentative nature. This is something that we do as literary critics because we look at ways to more or less illuminate the piece for others. So we give them something to kind of anchor their reading of these complex texts. So you can do things like analyzing a character or discussing a situation within one of the works with how it affects the plot and or character development. You can compare characters, you can analyze themes, you can show how theme is related to other pieces, other literary elements within the work, discussing a central conflict, for example, and how it illustrates the theme. But in general, these are some very broad ways that you can go about it. That particular paper will have your literary piece and then 2 outside sources. So although I've asked you to find 3 for the annotated bibliography, as you start to form the argument in week 3, you might find that not all 3 of those work. That's called getting a critical mass of sources. So I want you to go beyond for the annotated bib, so that as you form the argument in for project number 1 in week 3, you're going to have more than enough at your fingertips to use as you form that argument. So these are a couple of things that I want you to be thinking about as you move through not only the annotated bibliography assignment, which is due this week, but also in preparation for next week when you have project number 1 due. You'll also participate in discussion forum number 2. This is less informal, so a little more formal than our discussion forum in week 1. You're going to look at 2 or 3 of the works that we've read so far and look at some emergent themes. So again, I'm hoping that the activities that you do get you in the right mode to write project number 1 for week 3. You'll respond to this prompt and to 2 classmates' posts. And remember, go back to that discussion forum rubric. You want to keep in mind what will give you the optimal number of points. So you want this to be in, using your proper academic conventions of usage and grammar. You want it to be a thoughtful response. You want to indicate what they've said and respond in agreement or disagreement, or maybe you've found something else to add to their post, but just consider what you need to do in your responses. And then finally, don't forget to take the quiz number 2 and submit that annotated bibliography once you're ready. If you have any questions about week 2 as you move through it, don't hesitate to ask.